Okay, apologies for going quiet for a minute there. I've just got something in my eye. It seems to be sorted. This is the last bit. So there you have Lady Macbeth. First of all, that she said in a response to the letter what she feels about Macbeth being too full of milk of human kindness. What she feels though that her role in that must be to pour her spirits in thine ear and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round. From getting the crown. And then she calls on those spirits of darkness, those spirits of hell, very much to help her in that process, that she doesn't feel the guilt, that if she starts to waver, that she's not going to hear the sounds of heaven telling her to stop. And she's very much intent at that point of actually being, if you like, the main character in doing it. She says about where her knife goes, the blade of her knife goes, not Macbeth's. And then Macbeth arrives. Now, the reason why I put the director's chair there is it is not clear. It is not clear exactly what his feelings are. And it's all in the delivery of the lines. Remember, this is a dramatic script. Shakespeare did not write this to be read by students in a 21st century classroom. Okay? He wrote this in order to be acted. And the difference in the way that a line is delivered might influence the entire play. So Macbeth arrives. She's just actually done that big thing to the spirits, and then Macbeth arrives. And he says, my dearest love. Okay, very clear about his feelings about her. Duncan comes here tonight, just delivering information. Now think about the different ways that could be said. It could be, my dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight, which might make his intentions about what he thinks needs to be done tonight very, very clear. Or it could be, Duncan comes here tonight and worried about it. Okay? Less clear about what he feels as though they need to do. Lady Macbeth's response. And when goes hence? And when's he meant to be leaving? Now it could again be, when's he due to go? Or it could be very leading, trying to get from her husband what his feelings are, and when goes hence? Normally? And Macbeth responds, tomorrow as he purposes, intention is to go tomorrow. It could be tomorrow as he purposes, or it could be tomorrow as he purposes. That's what he thinks he's doing. We don't know where Macbeth is on this. And Lady Macbeth comes out with it. Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Now we know now, from earlier on in this play, and from Richard III, what is the symbol of the sun motif in Shakespeare? It is the king. And she is saying, never shall Duncan that morrow see. Tonight we kill him. And she is leading in that. Now there's an irony to it, obviously because it's to do with the sun being a symbol of hope and light and all those sort of things, and never again, having done this terrible deed of killing the king who is visiting their castle, shall they as a couple see light and happiness again. And then she says, the moment she says that, you can imagine, this isn't just a line there to be delivered. The reason why, again, this is a script, you've got a gap there. Now what happens in that gap? You don't just have actors on the stage standing there delivering their lines, they're moving around, they've got facial expressions as they say it. So she says, oh, never shall that sun tomorrow see. And then Macbeth obviously responds in a particular way. How he chooses to respond is up to you as a director, whether you want him to be someone who is intent on killing Duncan straight away or is needing a bit more persuasion from his wife. And she says, your face, my thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. The moment she says that, Macbeth's response is clear. She can read him like a book. To beguile the time, look like the time, bear welcome in your eye, your hand, and your tongue. So when Duncan comes here, be welcoming in the way that you look at him. No. In your hand and your tongue, what you say to him, be welcoming. Very important simile. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. In your face, be like a flower. Underneath, be like a serpent, be like a snake. Okay? That motif of disguises again. And she is telling her husband this very, very clearly. Look like the innocent flower. Be very welcoming, smile, greeting sire, and all of that, but underneath be scheming away like that snake. He that's coming must be provided for. We came up against this word euphemism when we were talking about Richard III and his deformity. Now, it might just be that she is saying he must be provided for. His horses need to be watered and fed. His servants need to be found bedding. He needs to be his chambers sorted. But provided for, surely, having said what she's just said, he must be provided for means he must be killed. And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch. Leave it to me, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom. Sovereign kingship, masterdom, kingship. That which we do tonight will have massive influence on the rest of our lives. Now, of course, she's meaning it at this stage in a positive way. You kill Duncan tonight, you will be king. It'll be great. You'll have everything that you wanted. All that ambition that's inside you will be fulfilled. Of course, the irony is, the bad thing about it, is that having done this terrible deed, of course it does impact and influence their lives, but not in the way either of them had hoped for. Now, so often that is the way about ambition. Be careful what you wish for. And Macbeth's response to her very, very clear intention, telling him what to do, telling him what they have to do, telling what the impact of that night's business will be, is, we'll speak further. I need time to think about this. But Lady Macbeth, only look up clear, to all to favour, ever is to fear. Leave the rest to me, I will take care of it. And they go. Now, if we are making a judgment, we've got some questions here that you can work on. If we are making a judgment at this stage about villainy, simply comparing Lady Macbeth to her husband Macbeth, you would argue that she is clearly the villain of the piece. She is the one who's pushing this to happen. That is even before you start making a comparison between her and Richard III, okay? Who've got very, very similar traits in terms of somehow a link and affiliation to the devil rather than to heaven. Okay? But definitely it's the case here that you can see that she is taking the leading role. One of the ways that Shakespeare liked to demonstrate about who was the most powerful on the stage was the person who was using the most language, in terms of the lines taken, but also the more ornate language. That was very much something, if you use more imagery and ornate, verbose, flowery language, it was somehow reflective, symbolic of your status. Well, look at the difference between the two of them. Look at how Macbeth uses his language as powerful man, and look at how that she uses her language, the more powerful woman. Okay? All right. We will return. We'll give a little bit more on what happens in between, and we'll look at her in a later scene as well.